Today we will be talking about a case study by Kimberly L. The case study is about St. Regis School. It is in a rural community, about 25 minutes from the city, about 420 students in the school. Mr. Sample, who is a new principal, about 3 years, and Miss Lynn, who is a librarian and a media specialist, have worked together to create a computer lab with instructional software for teachers and students to use. Teachers have wanted to utilize the software program in their classrooms. Miss Lynn decided to make copies of the program on blank CDs. She did not have permission from the author. Mrs. Brandon refused to accept a copy as Miss Lynn was delivering them to teachers. She informed Miss Lynn that she was in violation of the copyright laws. Mrs. Brandon went to Mr. Sample with concerns about Mrs. Lynn breaking the copyright laws. When Mr. Sample went to Mrs. Lynn, she said she was not worried about it because the PTA president was beside her while she was making the copies. Legal and ethical issues. No physical or mental harm was done. Monetary loss did happen. Miss Lynn making copies without asking permission from the author is a violation of the copyright laws. For ethical issues, without the copies, the school had lack of resources for teachers to use with students due to lack of funds to purchase more copies. Synthesize. Mrs. Lynn was informed that she was breaking the copyright laws, but continued to do so for teachers to have resources for their students. Synthesize facts. You have Mr. Keith Sample, who is the principal. He is going on his 3rd year, so recently new. Mrs. Lynn, who is media and librarian. Mrs. Brandon, who is a teacher, and then you have the PTA president. Those are the ones who are involved in this case study. The case study happens at St. Regis School. That is about a rural community, about 420 students, 25 miles from a big city. Review and priorities of the information. The community and the schools are the stakeholders. Everyone could be hurt in this situation by having to pay legal costs. The PTA president needs to know information about copyright laws. The PTA also needs to know the severity of the situation, and all copies need to be taken away, and no other copies should be made. Options. Option 1 is to confiscate all the CDs that Mrs. Lynn had created and stop producing any other CDs. Option 2 is continue creating the CDs so that the school has resources it needs. With option 1, you could follow the copyright laws. You are showing the correct ethical behavior to students. The students and the teachers lose resources in the classroom that they could use. Also, you could try to get a grant or anything like that to maybe be able to get the money to get more copies. Option 2, you knowingly will be breaking the copyright laws, could cost the school in more money to pay for the damages. You're not showing the correct ethical behavior to the students. The students and teachers will be getting the resources they could use in the classroom. Best option. Best option would be Number one, to confiscate all the CDs that Mrs. Lynn had created. Stop producing other CDs. You also need to talk to the PTA, discuss a plan on how to get more copies. For example, getting grants, getting loans, anything like that. Discuss the laws and policies about copyrights or any other laws that maybe the school needs to know. Talk to Miss Lynn individually, communicate with Mrs. Lynn on what the plan will be from here on out. Talk to the faculty, discuss and communicate the laws and the copyright laws with the faculty so they know what is going on and why the CDs needed to be confiscated. Thank you.